say I'm a person that puts her peace first now. A person that puts also her values first and really listens to her own voice instead of to the voice of the society.
Do you think we've been brought up to constantly seek validation from other people?
100%. I was always the type of person that was seeking validation from other people, especially from social media, because I had a void inside of myself. When I'm looking back and I'm being very, very honest with myself,
Today we have a truly inspirational guest with us, Maribel Francesca. She is a multiple seven-figure entrepreneur who retired this year at the age of just 26. She's built her success through her online coaching business, which she ran for just 3 years. And not only that, she has created one of the leading women empowerment pages, Confidently Women. Do they even have the lifestyle that you wish to have, and yet you're seeking their validation?
Actually not.
You mentioned about how you're now really focused on your values. If I had to ask you, what are your 4 top values? What would you say they are?
I would say definitely transparent. I would say love. Definitely doing everything with love. I would definitely say faith.
What do you think makes people uncomfortable about even approaching the conversation of faith?
Because you're getting confronted with your sins.
Do you think that there was a point on that journey where your motivation for money overtook your values?
100%.
Today we have a truly inspirational guest with us, Maribel Francesca. She is a multiple seven-figure entrepreneur who retired this year at the age of just 26. She's built her success through her online coaching business, which she ran for just 3 years. And not only that, she has created one of the leading women empowerment pages, Confidently Women, which boasts nearly 1 million followers. Maribel is a personal branding expert and the host of her own podcast series, Own It. What's even more impressive is that she built all of this from scratch from the studio apartment in Germany. I am now sat here with her in Dubai, and I can't wait to share your story to inspire other women. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for this great introduction and for this invitation.
So Maribel, this is super exciting because we literally sat together 12 months ago, and I feel that so much has happened for both of us in that 12 months.
That's true.
But right now, the Maribel that is sat in front of me, without the labels, without any titles, without telling me about your work or your position within your family, who are you?
I would say I'm a person that puts her peace first now. A person that puts also her values first and really listens to her own voice instead of to the voice of the society or the voice of her friends or the people that are around her. Because back then I was a person, I wanted to prove all the people around me wrong. Because I always was the girl that was never succeeding in something, and then I realized that I actually can become whoever I want and that I can build a business and make it successfully. And then I try to always prove everyone and everything wrong. Hey, I can actually do it. And now I really don't care anymore about it. Now it's really about, okay, what do I really want to? Do I really want to run a business? Do I really want to live that crazy and fancy lifestyle?
Do you think we've been brought up to constantly seek validation from other people?
100%. And I would say this is my story about. So I was always the type of person that was seeking validation from other people, especially from social media, because I had a void inside of myself. When I'm looking back and I'm being very, very honest with myself, I had back then when I grew up as a child, also in my teenage time, always the feeling that I was not getting validated enough. So, and with this business and with the success and the fame that I actually got, I finally was getting the validation that I always wanted to have, but I did not realize that this was a toxic situation, because I was getting this validation from someone else. And when you're getting validation from someone else, you will be always hungry because there's no stop.
You just made me think there, because normally when you think about getting validation from other people, we think about it being people that we know, but you also mentioned about validation from social media. And that could be really dangerous because they're not even people that you know.
True that.
And do they even have the lifestyle that you wish to have, and yet you're seeking their validation?
Actually not. So, and that's the thing, that you're seeking validation and recognition from people that are not even living the life that you would like to trade with your own life. So, and I think this is like a vicious cycle, you know, like it never stops.
You mentioned about how you're now really focused on your values. If I had to ask you, what are your 4 top values? What would you say they are?
I would say definitely transparent. Then I would also say, I would say love. Definitely, like doing everything with love. I would definitely say reliability. So when I'm going to say something, I'm going to do it. And then the last one, let me think about it, because we just have 4.
I know, I'm minimizing it down.
We just have 4. I would definitely say faith.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And do you think your values were the same 12 months ago?
No, absolutely not. And this was also the reason why I decided to change my life. Because I was no longer aligned with my values. And I also could feel it. So I had this feeling inside of me that something was wrong and I wasn't really happy, but I was not knowing what was going on. Like I just felt lost. And then I realized at some point that the life that I'm living is no longer aligned with my values. And if you're not aligned with your values, then of course, everything that you're doing is literally not fulfilling you. It's not making you happy.
I remember sitting with you and you saying how your goal of that particular month was to hit 200,000, right? Do you think that there was a point on that journey where your motivation for money overtook your values?
100%. 100%. The thing is, if you want to dig deeper into that, I can give you like a little story time to that. I was not enjoying what I was doing already, like I would say, literally 12 months ago. I was not really enjoying it anymore because it became so big and I had so much pressure on my back that I did not know how to handle that on the long run. Because if you imagine you have 14 employees, everyone is like relying on you, everyone is expecting that you perform on a top tier level every single time, every single month, so that they can get work and that they can get paid. So I had also a lot of people that were working commission based in our company. And when you're the person that is reliable for the marketing, you're the person that with everything that you do is like the most important thing in the company. Like everything falls and goes up with you. Like if the marketing is gone, there's no sale coming in. So, and what ended up happening is that at some point I had this pressure and I knew, okay, I can't really like enjoy and lean back in my life, but I knew I have this other vehicle of, okay, I can make a lot of money. Like I can make a tons of money. I can do all these crazy things. I can shop, I can travel, I can do literally whatever I want. So, and for me, I compromised myself and said, okay, let me make a lot of money so that I don't even care anymore how I'm making this money, like that I'm handling so much pressure and I'm all doing all these things that are actually not aligned anymore with my values because, okay, I have the money. So, and this is when I focus on making more money, making more money, making more money.
Do you think it was because the money actually can make your life easier? Right?
100%.
It doesn't solve all problems, but it definitely lessens the burden of problems.
100%. So money buys convenience. So I'm not the type of person that says now, hey, money can buy happiness, but money can make your life way easier. So, of course, when you buy something that you wanted to have for such a long time, it will make you happy for a short time. But on the long run, you will realize that money is not making you happy. And it's so interesting to see it because I know a lot of people that are saying constantly money buys happiness, etc. And you can see that they're actually not having money. Like they never came to that point where they have so much money that they don't even know what to do with that money anymore. So, and I believe, yes, like I said, you will have a good time. I would always prefer to be rich than poor. Like that's a fact. Always, every single time. But money will not make you happy on the long run. Yeah.
And I know for you, your personal brand took off incredibly fast, didn't it? And then all of that weight came onto your shoulders. But what do you think was the kind of pivotal point of that sudden success with it?
For my personal brand, what I did, I realized that there was just one little thing that I needed to change to make it blow up. And it was to go up with the posting volume. Because, of course, the more people see you, the more eyeballs you get and the more opportunities you have to go viral. But keeping the same quality. So literally putting even more work into it, but to get more outcome. And another thing, and this was literally the number one thing, I figured out the trends on my own page. Because, of course, you can go out on Instagram and you can check out what the overall trends are, like the reels that are going viral. But when you're realizing what the things are that are especially going viral on your page, you will have much more success. And when you start recreating these content pieces over and over again, you will go viral. Like there's no other option than going viral, because this is what your target audience wants on your page. So, and I recreated so many different content pieces, literally 20 times. People were seeing over and over and over again the same content pieces. And this is how I went viral, and then I kept the momentum. Like I did not stop posting. Like you remember you were seeing me 24/7 everywhere.
I remember you saying to me, it should be Maribel for breakfast, Maribel for lunch, Maribel for dinner before you go to sleep.
Yeah, so if you want to go viral and you want to get a lot of sales, of course, you can just focus on quality, but imagine focusing on quality and quantity, mixing that up and showing yourself every single day on social media. The people will buy from you, like the people will follow you and stuff. Yeah.
Now, I know you said that for a while you felt unhappy because you started to realize you were compromising values. And I know that there was a very pivotal point in your business where you had a particular client that disrupted maybe your entire system. What do you feel like? How did that journey impact you? Like, obviously, I know that as well. We both believe everything happens for a reason. But how did that impact your journey at that particular moment?
Actually, it was a gift, honestly, because it opened my eyes that this business is no longer for me. And not because it did not work out. You know it by yourself, like you was one of my clients, like you, and you had a good time. Let's say it like that. You had a good time like all the other girls too. So, and I believe that everyone that wanted to honestly succeed inside of my program actually succeeded, and they got all the support that they needed from us. And even more than that, like we were always the type of people that were trying to even support people more and more and more as much as we could. And actually this experience was a gift for me, because it literally showed me, okay, this business is no longer for me, because I don't want to handle situations like that. Like it should not like sound like super like, oh my God, I have such an ego, I'm too good for that, etc. But you know it by yourself. Like there's some things that are no longer for you and that you don't want to handle. Like you want to step up and focus on other things. So, and that's how, I see the situation.
And you spoke about getting to a point where it was compromising your values. Specifically, how was it compromising them?
The business and you mean like the change in my business and everything? So I would say I had a time like a year ago. It was kind of in spring 2023, where I realized, like I said, I was kind of lost. And I had the feeling like something is wrong with me. Like I was no longer enjoying the lifestyle that I was living at this time. Like I did not enjoy it anymore to go on these crazy trips. I did not enjoy to go for pointless dates. I did not enjoy anymore the type of marketing that I was doing. So, and it was because I flipped the switch and I realized that I was doing all that for validation.
Yes. Okay.
And that's what I was.
So the validation was the major value
This was the
point.
major thing. And at this time, I finally were able to set myself apart from this validation from other people. So, and I did not had the need anymore to really show myself on social media and show what kind of nice life I have and how good my business is going and all these different things. I just wanted to be by myself. And this is where the shift came in, because the role that I was playing on social media was no longer aligned with my values. It was a completely different role. It was the role of the fancy, crazy, sassy entrepreneur that I was no longer feeling it.
Do you think that you were no longer being authentic?
Yeah,
in what it was that you
100%.
were
At some
showing?
point, yes. Because, of course, if you have a business, you have responsibility. You have people that are counting on you. And you know the winning strategy. So, and when you're trying to change your strategy, of course, there will be a lack in revenue. So, and therefore, I was kind of forced to play the role that I no longer feel at this time. So, just to get money in at some point. Of course, this role that I invented on social media, like this sassy entrepreneur, this was not something that was a lie. I was really that person
Yes.
for a long time, but we humans are evolving.
But was that person authentically you, I guess is the question.
I think at some point, yes. I think at some point, yes.
And that's where maybe the unhappiness came. Because it wasn't really who you wanted to be, but it's who you were at the time. Had you like lost your track of who you really were?
Yes, like at some point, yes. So, for example, like I said back then, I was this very sassy, adventurous girl. Like I would say in the first 2 years of my business journey, absolutely, like I loved it. This was like really me. But then the more I learned from myself, and the more I realized that all the things that came with this personality were leaving me empty inside, I realized that this is no longer for me.
Do you think you had the right circle of people around you? Did it have any impact on who you had become and who you wanted to be?
I would say yes and no. Of course, like you attract what you are. So that means when I was in this phase of my life where I was this very adventurous, extrovert girl, I had this type of people in my life that were living this type of lifestyle. And when I did that change, I realized that a lot of people were not anymore fitting into my life, and that I needed to, distance myself from them. Yeah.
And talk to me about the kind of 2 weeks leading up to the point where you made the decision to call up your business partners and say, I want out.
Yes. So it was, I would say, one of the hardest weeks of my life, honestly, because I had this feeling for a long time inside of me that I was no longer feeling what I was doing. But if you're working with other people and you're doing that for years and it's all aligned on your, I would say, on your life. So I can, like, my life was literally my business at the end. So I can't just say, okay, I'm quitting, bye-bye, have a good time, guys. So, but yeah, it came to a situation where we were about to do a lot of changes to scale the business. And the scaling process came with more work. It came with even more commitment. And since I already had a lot of pressure and I had a lot of, like, I was not feeling anymore this business at this time, I knew that if I go this step and I scale this business even more up, I will not be able to do that. Like, that's where I realized, okay, we need to stop things now. Yeah.
Okay, so let's strip it back a minute because you spoke about values at the beginning of this. And one of your main values was faith. What is your relationship like with God?
Very, very, I would say, important. So back then when I started my business journey, that's where I got in touch with faith, like I would say, like, from me, because when I grew up, for me, it was always like, hey, you need to believe in God. Like, it was more like, hey, you're forced to live the life, like, with God.
Where did that come from?
From my family, actually. So I grew up in a Latin American family, and a lot of people that are Latin American, they know what I'm talking about. Like, since you are like a child, like, they kind of force you to believe in God and to like be in that church and everything. And
In
for
what
me,
way? Like how?
like you need to go to church on Sundays, like you need to pray, like you need to put God first, like what's obviously like a good thing. And I also believe now in that, but it was never like a choice. You know what I mean?
Interesting, because it kind of links back with validation, is that you're doing it for people.
Yes, yes.
Which is not which is maybe where that kind of early influence of validation comes from. This is what is expected of me, so I will deliver.
Yes, 100%.
And I think that's a really important journey for anyone in life. Is I think that the most intelligent people in the world are the people who have the ability to make the right choices for themselves.
Yeah.
And forcing anyone to do anything does not teach them how to make good choices in their life.
Yeah, I feel you. So yeah, this was what was going on. So I was kind of forced to believe in God. And I'm a person, as soon as I'm forced to do something, I go crazy. Like I don't like that. Like everything needs to be completely chosen kind of by me.
Yeah.
So and what ended up happening is that when I was building my business, I met a girl. And this girl reached out to me through Instagram, and she was like very like, having faith in God and everything. And she showed me a completely different perspective, like without having this feeling of, okay, you need to believe in God. Like it's like something that you must do, etc. And step by step, like I kind of came closer to God. And she also showed me like how I can actually build my business together with God. And I always saw like little, I don't want to say results because it sounds weird, but I saw what I actually can achieve together with God and how beautiful the life is when you're going your life with God together. So, and this was going like that for the last like 3 years. And especially now, like I would say since the beginning of this year, it's so crazy. Like I'm more than ever like aligned with my faith and so connected to God that back then I never understood when people said like, yeah, it's God is so important and I feel so much peace when I'm with him, etc. But now I know what they are talking about.
It's interesting because I was atheist. I didn't believe in God at all, even though my father was Catholic, or I say was, is Catholic. He's Italian. My mum, atheist, British. But there was never really any mention of religion in my household growing up, apart from at Christmas and at Easter, my dad would be like, let's go to church. Like that was it. But I thought that anybody that had a connection with religion was weak and that they were brainwashed and that religion was the cause of war. Because the media had had so much influence over me all of that time. And I had this understanding that God was like some sort of man in the sky. And my scientific brain was just not digesting any of this. But I did believe that everything happens for a reason. What goes around comes around. And I remember questioning, if I genuinely believe everything happens for a reason, what causes that? Right? Because coincidence, there's only so many coincidences that can happen. But for this planet to exist, I don't even know how many million coincidences will have had to have happened for me and you to be sat here right now.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. And so when I was able to realize that God is like a force, not a human, and understand that everything is so perfectly calculated on this planet, and that's just this planet, forget about the universe, my mindset really changed. And it's really interesting that the reason why I think I had that misinterpretation or misunderstanding is because in the English language, God always says he, right? But that's only because in English, it's not the right language. Like the Bible was written in Aramaic, right? It was never written in English. So in the English language, we could not say it. It would be rude to describe God as it. So the more polite version is he. So when I was able to remove that idea of a human and imagine God as something much bigger than that, everything changed for me. And I do think that it takes a high level of intelligence to have faith.
True that.
Do you think that there is a link between intelligence and faith?
100%, especially emotional intelligence. Yeah, because honestly, like literally, honestly, if you let it come into your life, you will know that God is real. Like you will know that everything happens for a reason. And the problem is because why so many people don't experience that type of situation, oh, everything happens for a reason and God is really there, is because they're not letting God be a part of your life. When I think about my life back then, everything was all over the place. Like stuff were just happening. But when I let God into my life, everything is honestly happening for me. Like there's no bad things happening to me. I swear, no bad things. And even if society would say, okay, that's a bad thing that happened to you, it was always connected to something that was a gift for me.
Yes.
Like I said it to you, even the things that were happening inside of the mentorship program, it was a complete gift. Like we are so grateful for that. Even the time when my Instagram account got blocked, it was a gift from God because it was everything I prayed for. And I remember that when I was asking God like a year ago, God, please take me that pressure out of my back and show me a solution to handle this business. That's what happened.
Yes.
Everything broke down. And everyone thought, oh my God, you're going through so much. I'm so sorry for you. And I knew everything is happening exactly like planned.
Yes.
God knows what he's doing with me.
100%.
So I agree like that some people don't believe that, etc. But it's because they're not letting God be a part of their life.
What's the reason for that? Why do you think so many people are so detached from faith?
Actually, it takes them out of their comfort zone, honestly.
I wonder whether this is something that I've really thought about in quite depth. Does society, and I'm not talking about societies in local communities, I'm talking about the people that are trying to rule the world, right? What happens if everybody in the world has faith?
Wow, never thought about that question. That's deep.
Because ultimately, you can't control people who have faith because they don't seek validation from other humans. So I know that any action that I do, I don't care what other people think because I'm not doing it for them. I don't seek any validation from any human in this life, on this planet. I only seek approval from God. Every action I make is with the intention of getting good deeds, of getting good reward for what I do. Now, when people aren't trapped in a system and they're freely making their own choices, are they going to be able to control people in the same way?
Oh, difficult question. Honestly, like, even when I think about that, about society and about how everything is, that there are people that are not believing in God and people that are believing in God, it's for a reason. Like, I believe that everything how it is right now, even if there's some bad things going on in this world, it's good like that. It should be like that. If not, God would have changed it.
Absolutely, but do you think there is an agenda between good and bad? If you think about every industry that's out there, the music industry, the movie industry, TV, the internet, everything is pulling people away from faith.
Yeah.
Can you think of any example of any industry like that is pulling people towards faith?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
It doesn't exist.
So I believe that there are like two sides, obviously. Like that there's a devil and there's God. And I believe that God is taking what he wants, like the people that he wants on his side, the things that are happening on his side. And of course that there's like the sin of the devil, like, yeah.
That's the plan, right? That's the plan. And it's done very well. And money is one of the biggest motivators. But at the same time, because a lot of people of faith will sometimes say, oh, I only want money within my means. I don't want to be greedy. But actually, it's not about that. If you are able to really align your faith and your values with your business, why would you not try and compete with your McDonald's, your Coca-Cola, these big organizations? Because that is really what is needed. Because when there are times of huge conflict in the world, for example, you have a balance on both sides. And I don't think there is a balance on both sides. And it's so beautiful to see people like yourself really aligning their faith and their goals with their business.
I agree that we need people on the top like that are having faith. So, and I also believe that God wants you to be wealthy.
Yes.
God wants you to like become better. God wants you to like have that kind of freedom, but he wants it to do it with him together.
Yeah.
Because one thing that you will realize when you're not doing it with God, and you will see so many people that are actually lost.
Do you think that your upbringing, because you spoke about how religion and faith was kind of forced upon you, do you think that the people that were forcing it upon you were practicing it correctly?
So I think they did not know better. Because when I think about it, like it was my family, obviously. They just got it from their family, like, and their family got it from their family to bring the family with faith together like that. So to force them. So they did not know any better. So, and that's why I don't like, oh, it was so bad from them that they forced me to believe in God and everything, and they should have done it differently. But I always try to see things from the perspective of this person.
Absolutely. It's a form of protection. But quite often protection is shown and love is shown in the wrong way. And you spoke about love being one of your values.
Yes.
Sometimes you can try and protect somebody and love somebody, but cause damage to them at the same time.
Yes.
How has faith shaped both your personal life and your business life kind of now, where you are right now?
It's the reason why I'm so peaceful now. And it's so interesting because I know that a lot of people that know me from before, they probably think, oh my God, she's so boring now. And she's not, how can she be now really happy, like without doing her business stuff and everything like that. But these people never experience really like the peace of God and the type of like happiness that he gives you. Like literally, I have no worries at all. And it sounds so crazy. And I wrote this yesterday in my journal. I don't know where like the next sale is coming from because I closed the business. I also don't know like where I should go next in life, if I should stay in Dubai, if I should move somewhere else. I don't know, but I'm still so peaceful and so happy because I know that it will 100% exceed my expectations.
Yes, it's
Like
so
that
interesting.
there is a plan. Also when it comes to relationship, especially this part, I'm single since 5 years. And actually I had times in my life where I was kind of like getting nervous. Oh my God, it's so long now. And I'm getting 30 now, you know, like you also want to have kids and all that stuff. But right now I'm so peaceful and I know that there's something coming, something better than I could ever expect it, and something that lasts.
And potentially someone that you would have attracted 6 months ago could be bad for you now.
That's it. When I think about all the dates that I had before with all these men, yeah, for some people they were maybe like amazing men, but now as seeing it as the person that I am right now, they were not a good fit for me. They did not fit to me. They were not able to keep up with the persona that I'm right now and the persona that I want to become.
So talking about relationships then, do you think, no, actually, let me rephrase that. What do you think is the difference between a man with faith and a man without faith when it comes to entering into a relationship?
Good question. I never thought about this one. But I also would say that this man has focus. Like he's not getting so distracted. Like he's not like, you know, like a victim of society and everything that happens around him. He's not a victim of his environment. Like this man has focus. You know? The next thing is that this man is moving with purpose. And that is a purpose from God, you know? And the other thing is that this man has overall peace.
Yeah.
That this man is not emotional, like mixed up, messed up, sorry.
And also taking it back to validation. Somebody without any faith will seek validation from somewhere.
For that.
And when it comes to relationships, and I'm not saying anyone is perfect, everybody is capable of making mistakes, but a person with faith, a man with faith, if you think about where people cheat in relationships, if the only person that you are trying to hide that from is your partner, it's a lot easier to be unfaithful. But if you know that God is watching, that's an extra layer of protection for a woman in a relationship.
True that, I agree on that. And I also think that men that are very faithful, that they don't need to seek that validation from other because they're fulfilled.
And that was the beginning of this conversation, was about validation. And actually, the second you bring faith into the equation, validation from other people is no longer needed.
And that's what I'm feeling right now. And it feels so good. Like, honestly, like, I pray that everyone that is listening to this podcast will ever have this, will at least have once this feeling of being so fulfilled and so peaceful from the love of God. And this is literally like, it gives you so much like peace. Yeah.
Somebody asked me, one of my clients the other day, we had a meeting, we were all together, and one of them asked me, Khadijah, she's like, you always seem to have it always together. I've never seen you break down. I never see you upset, I've never seen you with any limiting beliefs. She asked me, she said, do you have any limiting beliefs? I said, absolutely not. It's impossible to have limiting beliefs because I think every decision I make is so simple. 3 things. 1, I make an intention as to why I'm doing something. What is my purpose for the action that I want to take? Secondly, I then pray for it. Right? God, if this is good for me, good for my family, and good for my faith, make it easy for me. If this is bad for me, bad for my family, and bad for my faith, take it far from me. And then the third thing is I take action. Now, whatever happens, if it works out, I won. If it doesn't work out, I won. It's impossible to lose. So how can I have any limiting belief when I have faith that the right thing will come for me?
Yes, I love that. I love that. Yeah. I also believe that when you're really aligned with your faith, that you don't have these limiting beliefs or so. Yeah.
Do you think faith plays a role in how you choose to take risks?
100%. Because, for example, like, I don't mind taking risks now. Like, literally, like, the last few months, like, I'm the risk taker.
Absolutely, I love it.
A risk taker. I just closed the business from one day to another and said goodbye. No revenues coming in, and then I'm literally like I'm giving away randomly money on Instagram and stuff like that. Like, I don't fear. I really don't fear because I know that God put me in that position for a reason. He chose me to close this business for a reason. So that means there will come something else. And God knows what I need to be happy. God knows that I will not be happy when I'm broke. Like, He knows that there will come something that is for me.
Given you've got maybe a clean slate and you take yourself back 3 years and you start everything from scratch, knowing what you know now, how would you do things differently?
Honestly, like, I would still start a business because the business was such a valuable personal development journey that made me the person that I'm today. And literally, if we will take everything from me, the lifestyle, the money, and you will just leave me with the person that I became, like the personality, I would still be rich. Because I have so much knowledge and I'm so flexible. Like, I believe like I can learn everything in life. Like, there's nothing I can't achieve. And this personality is so valuable. So therefore, I would still start a business to go on that personal development journey, to learn more about life, to learn more about myself, about business, etc. But I would go with a different mindset into that business. back then I started this business to get validation from others, to show others, hey, I actually can do something, like I can become successful, like look at me. But now I would go into this business and would focus on like real purpose. Like, why do I really want to build this business? Okay, I want to have freedom. So, but beside of the freedom, is there something else that I need to fix to be happy? Because I also said it in a podcast before, even if you have crazy amounts of money, you can travel the world, like you have freedom, doesn't mean that you're happy. Like if you are still like worrying too much what other people think about you, and you have so many inner, I would say, struggles that you need to solve, you're just building yourself a cage inside of your mind.
Yeah.
So, and not a single amount of money can fix that. So, and I will definitely try to fix myself first. I will try to find real purpose behind it. And I will try to focus on building a business with peace. Because when I started my business, my mantra was all I wanted was everything.
Right.
Imagine saying that. Like, this says so much about me as a person. I always want to have more money, more success, more fame, more. Like, I was never being really fulfilled. So at some point where I realized, hey, everything that I ever wanted was peace. Because when we think about it, when we are really, really happy, what do we have? We have peace. We have no worries.
Yes.
Like, we are satisfied. We are aligned with our true values, with who we want to become, who we are. And this is actually what we want. Like, this is the freedom that everyone is talking about on Instagram and they want to build a business.
And when people think about freedom, they just think financial freedom.
Yeah, but it's not just financial freedom. I know so many people, they have crazy amounts of money, but they're still unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we spoke 12 months ago about the desire of humans to only ever want more. And I asked you then, what is your end goal? Right now, what is your end goal?
I would say still peace, honestly. Of course, I already achieved a level of peace, but I believe that there's even much more.
Is there anything you would like to leave behind you?
Yes, because I think that God gives us our story for a reason, so that we can share it, and it can become the survival guide for someone else.
What is that survival guide?
And I believe, like, I went through so much in my life, like through so many things, and I made so many learnings. And if I'm able to share it with other people, that this will make me even more fulfilled, and this will literally fulfill also my purpose that God gave me. Because when I think about it, like about my strengths, I'm obviously good when it comes to empower and inspire. Like, God gave me the ability to speak, and to know what people really want. And so many people lack that. So many people don't know how to convince people, how to change people. And I'm convinced that I'm actually able to do it.
But what is the
So
message? What is the message that you're passing on?
I'm 100% convinced that it is like you can become whatever you want. Like, you can rewrite your story no matter where you're starting off. No matter what you went through in life, you can always rewrite your story, and you can become the girl that you always dreamed about, that you were looking up to. Like, it's your own story, and you should make something out of it. Because when I think about my own story, like, I was just living from day to day and not really having like a real purpose, also not having like a real goals in life, because I thought, oh, I can anyways achieve that. That's not possible for me. Till I realized that life is literally a game, and you can become whoever you want. Like, there's so many amazing things that you can discover, and where you will truly find joy.
And what message would you give to young or any age entrepreneurs that are on their journey that are wanting to balance their business and faith? What advice would you give to them?
Don't force yourself to change everything at one time. Because I think people, when they want to make a change, especially when it comes to faith, that's how I believed it back then. I need to now change my whole life from today to tomorrow. I need to act completely differently, and I need to do this and this and this and this. But when you want to do like a proper change in your life, you need to do it like step by step,
Yes.
day for day, especially when you want to keep it on a long run. Like God will not like knock every single day on your door and tell you like, hey, you didn't need to think about me. Like, hey, I thought we were building that business together. God will wait for you. He will sit down on your couch, and whenever you need him, he will be there. So the more you let him inside of your inner circle, the more he will work with you together. And the more you will be also happy to include him in your plans.
And what challenges would you warn them to look out for that could deviate them away from their faith? Because I think in business, temptation is real.
100%. I would say check out what is influencing you. Social media, even like the food that you're eating. Like I was on a 3 weeks fast till day before yesterday. And before I did that fast, I felt like I couldn't really see something. You know, I felt like I was so brainwashed from everything that was going on. Like I closed the business, then there were so many other things going on. I had so much work, and then I was not really taking care of my nutrition and everything. And then I did this fast, and I finally cut off all these toxic things that were influencing me in a bad way. I was finally able to see. And this is how I'm now able to be in this very peaceful state. And every influence that I had when I was on my fast, it was the influence from God. Like
fasting is incredible.
It's the game changer, like literally the game changer. Like I'm always doing it at least like every 6 months, especially when I have the feeling I'm in a phase of my life where I'm not able to see clear, when I don't know what I need or what I want in my life. Because at the end of the day, you need to imagine we humans, we're so easy to influence.
Yes.
Every single person that comes around us, every single content piece that we see on Instagram, every single thing influenced us in some way. So, and when you are like having all that influence on you, you're not able to listen to God. Like you will not hear him because the noise is so loud, you know?
So loud. And that fast is not just a body fast. It is a complete soul fast, a mind fast.
It's a cleaning, like a soul cleaning. Yes.
And what's next? Like, where's your passion lying right now?
So my passion, you can see I'm already passionate.
You're glowing right now.
Because I'm so all in for everything that is happening right now. And I know that everything will turn out much better than ever expected. Maybe not like I wanted it, but that's totally fine. So I closed the business. And right now we are working on a lot of things on Confidently Woman, because, you know, that's my little asset that is making me money while I'm retired. And we're having like an amazing like community project that we are doing there right now, completely automated. We have some girls there that are working with us, and they're truly amazing. They're doing amazing work. So I don't spend so much time on it. I'm fully focused on content creation, and I'm really thriving in it. Like the content that I create now on social media fits way more to myself and to my personality. Like it's not this super noisy, like, hey, look at me type of marketing. It's more like, you know, I don't even want to say quiet marketing. Like people can see I'm there, but it fits way more to my personality. And and one thing that we're working on, and I already mentioned it when we did the announcement for the retirement, is that we want to partner in the future with companies. So it's nothing that we will do in the next few weeks, but something that we will 100% do in the future. So having like a handful of companies very, very closely, like working literally one-on-one, like general business consulting, going inside of their company, and helping them to scale that up with all the experience that we have made. And that's how it looks like. So,
and what about for you on a personal level?
So for me on a personal level, like I have two big things, or even one. Like first of all, one big thing that is on my plate, I would say. I'm figuring out where I really want to stay. Because I have the feeling that Dubai is not for me.
That's so interesting because it must have been, less than 12 months ago that you were like, finally, I found the place where I fit in. Like,
Yeah.
this is my home.
Yes. Actually, I realized that I seek a place where I have nature around me and where I have people around me that are, I would say, for example, Dubai is like a place, it's a transit city. Like we know, like most of the people, they come in, they get out, come in, get out. When it comes to friendship, but also when it comes to relationship. Of course, I have amazing friends here that I'm also since a long time friends with, and I think we will also stay for a longer time friends. But I seek a place where I have more like a family feeling. I seek a place where I have real life moments, and Dubai is not a place where you have real life moments. And it's a place where it's very focused on fame, money, and I would also say even sexuality, honestly. Like it's very like, it has this Miami vibe, you know?
Yes.
So, and I want a place where it's kind of peaceful.
So I'll be meeting you in Italy then.
Yes. I would love to.
And the Maribel that is sat in front of me right now, who is she 12 months from now?
Who I am in 12 months. I think I'm way more peaceful person. Like I think a person that is really living aligned with her values, a person that is having the perfect balance for her between work and life, and I would say a person that is able to put her ego completely aside.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think ego is something which lots of us say, I don't have an ego, I'm not too proud, I don't seek validation, but actually being able to stop and look at what that means.
Yeah. I believe I have a huge ego. Like I'm honestly like, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs have a big ego because most of the people, like it's obvious, like they're starting a business because they seek validation.
Yeah.
Even if they say, yeah, I don't care what other people think about me, let's start with your family. Okay, I don't think about what my family says about, okay, let's start with your girlfriend. Like at the end of the day, most of the people, they seek validation, and it is what it is, and it's totally okay because that's how we humans are. Of course, then there are the people that are starting working on it. So like myself, like I know I have a big ego and I want to get rid of it because I know that a lot of my decisions are based on ego. For example, I also asked myself the question, do I really want to live in Dubai, or do I just want to live in Dubai because I know it will push my ego?
Yeah, interesting. What's most beautiful is the fact that you're able to have that conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
That's the strength.
I'm very, very reflective. And I
Yeah.
would also say this is like the key point why I'm so successful. Like I'm always reflecting why I do things, why I think about things.
I have a theory that all humans are designed to worship something, right? Because faith has existed pretty much the entire time that we know as humans. But those who don't have faith turn to something, whether that is money, celebrities, absolutely, even relationships. I see a lot of people becoming codependent in relationships where they fully rely on their partner. Is that something that have you thought about? Like, do you think that every human is designed to worship something?
I believe that. And I think every human is worshiping something. Like you said it before, when it's not God, maybe their partner. When it's not their partner, maybe their business or maybe the money. So I believe that we all are worshiping something, but you are the one that decides what you want to worship.
Yeah. Yeah. And what impact do you think that can have on relationships?
A really bad one, honestly, because you are literally relying your life on a person. And if you're worshiping this person, like let's say you're obsessed with this person can do everything with you. And if you are not really emotionally intelligent, you lost. Yeah.
And we spoke previously about you were going on a dopamine detox.
Oh, yes.
Did you do that?
So actually this fasting, what I did right now, it was kind of like a dopamine detox. Yes. And I think after, like, when I met you, it's so funny. Wow, it's so funny. Last time I met you also was on a fast.
Okay.
I think I was on the last few days of the fast. And now, like, we met each other again. I'm at the, like, I just finished my fast.
Do you
So crazy.
think? Do you think that if we are not worshiping something, that you could potentially become chasing that dopamine fix constantly?
I think even if you worship something, you can still seek that dopamine kick. Because when I think about a time in my life where I was like kind of struggling with so many things, I was super stressed, I seek that dopamine kick, let's say from social media, because I knew this was like fast happiness, you know? I'm getting fast happiness. I get distraction. So, and I was still like, you know, of course, focusing on God, maybe not as much as I do now, but it was kind of all like messed up, you know?
Do you think that people without intelligence can have faith?
I don't think that there are people out there that don't have intelligence at all. I believe that people are just not ready to get out of their comfort zone. Because even if you think you're the dumbest person on earth, you can learn everything. And you can open your mind and your soul for everything if you want to.
What do you think makes people uncomfortable about even approaching the conversation of faith?
Because you're getting like, you're getting confronted with your sins, you know? And you are literally putting your ego completely aside. Like if you're praying, like you're putting your ego completely aside. Like you're nothing.
Yes.
You're literally nothing. So, and I think that a lot of people can do that. And that's why a lot of people also don't want to believe in God or don't want to come closer to faith, because they know they need to put their ego aside. Like they know there's something that is above them. They know there's something that can control them. There's something that can decide, okay, if you're going to have a good time now or not. So, and I think that a lot of people are scared for that step and that they don't want to get out of their comfort zone. And honestly, like it's hard to honestly, it's hard to be faithful when you're not used to it. Like for me in the beginning, when I started, it was hard to pray. It was hard to commit myself to sit down, be quiet, and to pray, and to talk about all my problems and all the things that I'm going through, and to be grateful, you know? So, and I think a lot of people don't have that kind of discipline and inner like willpower to go over this little, you know, step that they need to do to come into it.
I think as well, if you think about God in comparison with a friend, just for an example here, imagine if you only ever called your friend only when you needed something.
Yeah.
And you never ever reached out to them at any other point. Do you think they would keep giving? So that relationship, like, is something that you need to build even when you have everything. And is that something that you have started to work on? Like appreciation and gratitude is just so important in everything that we do. That relationship isn't just about turning to God when there is a problem.
No, absolutely not. It's a lot about gratitude. And it's a lot about, like, I always see it like that. That's how my friend back then explained it to me. Like, she said, like, God can help you, God can take care of your problems, but see God as your, he's living with you in your place now. He's literally like chilling on your couch, and you should treat him like a friend that is there. Like, hey, look, today happened XYZ. What do you think about that? How would you handle that? Okay, look, this and this happened. I'm really grateful for it. Like, literally just like a friend.
You can
And
get your
like
answers to
letting
anything.
him be a part of your life. Yeah.
It's incredible. And is it a conversation that you have? I know you're quite close with your mum. Like, is it something that you now discuss more?
Way more, yeah. Because my mom is like super, like, she's so happy that I like found my way. And it actually makes me also happy honestly, that I have like such a supportive person there, because of course a lot of people don't understand that. I have a lot of my friends that don't believe at all in God. So, and honestly, the more I appreciate the time with people that I can truly like be myself. And this is something that I realized for myself. Like I said, one of my key values is faith. So that I'm faithful and that the people around me are in some way kind of faithful. And of course, if you're a person that is completely against like God and everything like that, I will not be able to be really myself with you and to spend time with you. So this is something that I figured out for myself.
What differences do you think there are? Like, how is that conversation different?
So I have the feeling that I can talk with them about it. I have the feeling that I'm kind of stopping myself. It's the same thing. I know this is now a very like different example, but let's say you are in like you're into business. You started your business and you have friends that are in a 9-to-5 job. So you're having pretty successful time in your business, and if you're with a friend, you want to share your wins, you want to share your success, you want to share how it's going, you want to share what you're doing, etc. But the other friend will probably not understand what you're doing, and the other friend, in most of the cases, it is what it is. The other friend will be, I don't want to say jealous about it, but the friend will feel intimidated. And this will make like the whole conversation kind of uncomfortable.
Do you think that jealousy can cause harm?
What do you mean with harm? Like,
so I don't know whether this is something that you have explored much, but this idea that jealousy and envy from one person can cause physical harm to another.
100%. 100%. Yeah, 100%. First of all, you are kind of like limiting yourself, obviously, because you don't want to intimidate that person more, etc. You don't want to make things uncomfortable. So you're not able to truly be yourself. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Thank
Well, on that
you.
peaceful note, I want to say thank you so much
You're
for your
welcome.
time. Absolute pleasure, and beautiful just to hear about even the 12 months past, but also about what the next 12 months will have for
Yes.
you. So thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, guys.